G'day, Dr. Karl here, and today we're going to look at that wonderful phenomenon called anime. Japanese anime. So, number one, as in Dragon Ball Z, can you charge your body up to become stronger? Goku is actually an alien, and as part of that, he can charge himself up. He can supercharge him to have powers equal or better than the ones that his friends, relatives from the other killer planet have. Is this possible? Yes and no. Yes, there's a long history in the military of being able to stay awake for a long time by taking amphetamines. Sure, you make bad decisions, but war is war. You can also have greater strength when taking things like amphetamines and cocaine. There is a price to be paid. There is a really big price, but in a short term, you can supercharge yourself. But in South America, where they take it in its original leaf form in small quantities at high altitudes to help them walk great distances, no problems. Concentrated, problems. Natural, very few problems. There's a wonderful series called Naruto, where the hero runs in a way that makes him super fast, with his head tilted forward and his arms out behind him, not by his side, not pumping up and down, but staying fixed, parallel to the ground. Does Naruto running make you faster? His whole body is tilted forward, and he has relatively short steps, good, and his arms are behind him, parallel to the ground, not pumping up and down, not good. You actually get better balance and you're able to put more of your energy into going forward if you actually have your arms pumping up and down to compensate for your legs pumping up and down the other way, so you've got less wasted energy. To run as quickly as possible, you need a few things. Firstly, the relatively upright posture, not too far forward, not too back, and Naruto running is just a little bit too far forward, which has the disadvantage of being biomechanically bad, but more importantly, if you trip, you'll land on your face because you don't have enough reaction time to stop. This stride length, you don't want it too long. You might think that if you take a long stride, you'll glide through the air. You are gliding and slowing down. So you want the shorter paces. And the paces are more effective if you land on your toes rather than the midfoot or the heel. Can you stretch your body to be longer? And the answer is yes and no. And with a bit of Einstein, yes again. If you measure yourself first thing in the morning and last thing at night, you'll find the first thing in the morning you're a bit longer because the discs between your vertebrae have expanded. They've been compressed all day. Overnight they expand. And of course, astronauts have grown that much. That's right, 2 inches, 50 millimetres while in orbit. Luffy has this ability to stretch, not just to here, but for a metre, 50 metres, 100 metres. You can't really do it with our current technology because your bones are a certain length and you can't sort of make them elastic and then come back and all that other sort of stuff. But yes, you can if we get really good at our physics and relativity. And there's a thing called the Alcubierre effect, where you shrink space in front of you and you expand space behind you, and you go from here to way over there without crossing the space in between. The space travels with you. It's hard to get your head around, but stay with me. So what you do is you create a relativity bubble around your arm, and your arm stays the same length relative to the space that it's in, but the space expands 50 metres, 100 metres, you do damage to another ship, and then you can come back again. So I'd give it a definite yes, maybe, with the proviso that we need to get a lot better with our science. So fund some more science, and then we can have a genuine Luffy.
あの日、星が降った日。それはまるで夢の景色のように美しい眺めだった。
Can you swap yourself, your consciousness, with another person? Of course, you know I'm talking about the movie Your Name. It's so heartbreaking and just gorgeously sad. Can they swap consciousness? Yes and no. We think we might have discovered where in the brain a tiny element of consciousness might exist. The other thing about consciousness is the ability to communicate your essence. Now, we've been able to kind of do that There's a terrible, absolutely terrible medical syndrome called locked in, where your brain's working just fine and you can't move a muscle voluntarily. And there was one person who was suffering from this, and they managed to decode, with a lot of training and a few implants in her brain, her thoughts into words. And so she might think, hello. And a whole flurry of electrical activity happens across the brain in various centres, and vision and memory, and it all heads towards this area over here, just inside your temple, called the Broca's area, which picks up all of the signals and then sends out some beautifully coordinated electrical signals, and they were able to decode the fact that this person who was locked in was trying to say hello. So is that taking us closer towards understanding consciousness? Yes, in the sense that if consciousness is a kilometre, we've got maybe a millionth of a millimetre.
I wonder, what if someone else had picked up this notebook? Is there anyone out there other than me who'd be willing to eliminate the vermin from the world? If I don't do it, then who will?
Can you will someone into dying? That's right, we're talking about death. Okay, let me give you a bit of a background. You've got this honourable person who's relatively young and they want to do good things, and they get a visit from somebody who leaves them with the death note. If I can see your face and know your name, I can write your name in the book and you will die of a heart attack if I write that down, or a pulmonary embolism. So can you kill somebody by just wanting them dead? No. But there's a kind of an opposite where you can if you're going to die anyway, say you've got cancer of everything and there's a very definite pathway and people have been down this pathway, you can kind of keep yourself alive for a bit longer. There's a bit of a statistical anomaly where people are going to die at a certain time, but a little bit after their supposed death date, there's a festival where the whole family gets together, a family festival or religious or patriotic or whatever, and there seems to be this statistical anomaly where they can keep themselves alive just that little bit longer to go over the hump and live a bit longer. Is it real? But so can you kill somebody just by wishing it so? No, I think it'd be a bad thing anyway.
Oh well, I didn't expect it to anyway.